Hey guys, it's CHP Technologies here, and today I want to talk about the comeback of BlackBerry. Meet the BlackBerry Priv. So this is the BlackBerry Priv, and it's BlackBerry's first take on an Android phone, and I have to say, it's a pretty damn good one. But before we talk more about the features, let's get the specs out of the way. Inside the Priv you'll find the Snapdragon 808 along with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage. You can expand the storage up to an extra 200GB thanks to the microSD card slot opposite the SIM tray. You also have a 5.4-inch QHD AMOLED screen covered in Gorilla Glass 4, an 18-megapixel camera, which we will talk more about later, and of course, the physical keyboard. But starting with the software, the Priv runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop out of the box with a few extra things thrown in to make sure you know this is a BlackBerry. For example, the somewhat unusual notification system. It resembles stock Android with some added per-app filtering so you can find the notification you're looking for. The other odd thing you'll find is the multitasking view. Everything is a different size and shape, making it easy to pass over an app or web page you were recently using. However, you can change this in the settings and bring back the original look. And like the Galaxy S6 Edge, this device does have a little tab on the edge screen that you can swipe over to access your calendar, emails in the BlackBerry Hub, tasks, and your favorite contacts, which has definitely come in handy every once in a while. Moving over to performance, this thing can handle quite a bit. I was originally going to test Asphalt 8, but sadly due to the physical keyboard, it is unplayable. The game registers it as a plugged-in keyboard and doesn't allow you to switch to the typical tilt controls. So I figured I'd test Mortal Kombat X, but sadly that doesn't even finish loading. I experienced the same issue in my G4 with the same Snapdragon 808 processor. I'm not sure if it's the processor or just something else. Now those games are usually my two options as of late, but since neither of them worked, I went with Nova 3 and it handled it very well. The device does seem to run warm no matter what you are doing, which is definitely a bit odd. However, I feel like the fact that the back cover flexes quite a bit, along with it being thin, has quite a bit to do with the fact that you can feel it all the time. I don't mind it too much, but it is something you will notice in your day-to-day usage. I feel like the battery life takes a hit because of this as well. Speaking of battery life, it's pretty average. I manage around 2.5 hours of screen on time, but usually end up needing a charge around 10 to 11 p.m. Now for most people that's okay because that's when they would usually be going to bed anyway. But for me, I don't usually go to bed until about 3 or 4 a.m. Now keep in mind, I usually start my day between 12 and 2 p.m. So for a phone to only last that long on a charge, it's not too good. Now let's move over to the star of the show, the physical keyboard. Now I have never used any other BlackBerry device ever, and I did want to try to Passport, but never got the chance. So I can't compare this to the experience from other BlackBerry keyboards, but I will say this. It's a nice keyboard. It has definitely been a learning curve trying to get back into the groove of a physical keyboard. Last time I used a physical keyboard was back when I had the HTC G2, and that keyboard has nothing on this one. The buttons are nice and tactile and provide a nice click with each key press. In fact, in order for me to get more practice, I wrote this whole review on the physical keyboard, and it wasn't a bad experience. It even packs some nifty features like swiping to the left to delete a whole word or double tapping to enter cursor mode. You can even use it as a trackpad to scroll through things like web pages, the home screen, and more. Basically what I'm saying is, after you get used to it, you're going to enjoy using it. But if you don't, there's always the on-screen keyboard, which is also pretty good. The last thing I want to talk about is the camera, and let's just get this out of the way. 2 megapixels. Really? But the rear camera is somewhat of a different story. Like all smartphone cameras, it looks good outdoors and with good lighting, but when you take it inside, it seems no matter what lighting you're in, you will get noise in your shot, even after an update that said it would bring better low light performance. And of course, with low light comes a lot of digital noise and lots of detail, but that is to be expected. I guess I was just expecting a lot more from the 18 megapixel sensor, but we've all learned from the past that megapixels aren't everything. Overall, I think this is a pretty good smartphone. There are obviously some problems, but those can be worked out through software updates. Is this device worthy of its $700 price tag? Not really, no. Is this the phone to save BlackBerry? I definitely think so, but the price definitely needs to come down a good $100 or so to make it more easily accessible to a broader range of consumers. But thank you all for watching, and a huge thank you to AT&T for providing me with the Priv so I could bring this video to you guys. If you liked what you saw, then be sure to leave a thumbs up, as it does help out the channel tremendously. I'll of course leave pricing and availability linked in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day everyone.